So apparently, there's a lot of talk now that the RG34XXSP, has been nerfed even further than what people have claimed. There's a Reddit post, as you can see here, where a individual has shown that his unit only has 512 megs of RAM, and a unit that started out originally with 2 gigs and was quietly changed to 1 gig and has never been acknowledged to be anything less. So I'm going to take mine, which in the software reports 1 gig. We're going to open it up and find out, do I really have a gig or do I have 512? And by the way, I purchased this. This was not sent to me. I bought this from AliExpress, from the official Embernic store, shortly after they went on sale. So let's get this thing open and take a look and find out what's inside. All right, so let's get this thing opened up. But before I do, I want to show you guys that it is showing in the system here. If we go to our settings and system information, you can see that it does show that it has available memory, a total of 973 megabytes with 742 megabytes available. Now, the hubbub over this is not necessarily that they've nerfed this thing all the way down to 512 megabytes, because 512 megabytes is sufficient for most everything on here minus Portmaster. But the real hubbub is whether either Embernic themselves are getting fake chips, or Embernic is aware of this, or what is possibly going on here. But I'm going to get inside of this and see if I can determine what we have going on here. And hopefully we will find out that we have a gig as reported. Because if we physically don't have a gig and the software is reporting a gig, that is some bad shenanigans going on. And I don't want to really consider that that could be happening. I hope that's not the case here. But with these retro handhelds that you pick up from these manufacturers, you really never can be certain as to what you're getting. So I've got the right part here. We have our trusty little Chardin. I've shown this before. Hit the link below if you would like to pick one up. This is neat. It's got a little light on it. It's really good for working on these handhelds when you have to work on them. And Embernic likes to use these particular set of screws here. And so you always should have a good set if you're going to be working with these, because you never know which one these manufacturers are going to use. And you certainly don't want to strip them. And these are coming out fairly easy. And again, go check out my video on this 2 gig model. So, getting the screws out, you don't want to strip them. Here they are, 3 little, let's see, one of these guys, got a naughty one, did not want to get out of there. So I'm wondering, I'm curious, because I feel like the software is going to be accurate here, but you know, you never know. And as you can see, this thing comes apart pretty easily once you take the screws out. Now there is a connection here with the battery and of course the shoulder buttons here, but we do have this open, and let me zoom in here and let's see what kind of memory we have. And we do have SK Hynix. I see a single chip. I don't see 2 chips, so I hope that this is indeed Now the question is, we're going to have to look this up online and find out if this is indeed a gig of RAM. Crazy in this day and age that we're having to uh, conserve that much RAM. That's really crazy. But here's a look at the board so you can see inside. We do have the all-winter H700, so that is exactly what's in there. But now that we have a good look at this board, I'm going to do a little research, find out if this is indeed a known 1 gig, because it doesn't tell us anywhere on there, and I don't see any other indication anywhere else that this could be. So I'm going to get this guy put back together and find out if we have a gig of RAM or if the software is lying. All right, so I'm going to give my trusty Google AI the image and have it verify. I'm asking it to identify the amount of storage this chip has, so let's see what it says. Hopefully it tells me that that is a gig. But if this doesn't work, we'll go see if we can find it on our own. But I have used Gemini. It's become quite adept at helping me identify things pretty accurately. And while it can hallucinate, I'm hopeful that this has given it enough information. Again, the chip, the CPU didn't, the memory did not show up. So a RAM part LDDR3, and it says 1 gig. Now it is LDDR3, not LDDR4. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if it should have been that, but it verified a gig. It's showing a gig in my software. I'm going to conclude that my unit has a gig of RAM. Now, I still think there's some shenanigans going out there. I think the Reddit post is accurate, but you be the judge of it. Maybe we're running a lottery here. I was told that if you do have proof that you have a 512 gig, make sure you tell Ambernick. They want to know about this. They want to find out. Anyways, guys, that was a look at this. Go check out the full video as I review this again, and let me know what you think about it. Anyways, as always, hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones, because tomorrow's never promised. See you next time, Deadheads. Dead Fred out.